near future. All right, Tim. Last topic of the night here. Make a note on time. We did pretty good with that one. Look at us trying to be professional.
It happens
Devon-
once or twice. You never
yeah,
know.
every now and again we luck up on one, right? Devonte Wyatt. He was at locker clean out earlier today, and folks were talking to him. We got a little bit of an injury update here, and maybe you guys already knew this information. It was somewhat new to me, and so in this in season, I'm doing so many things, trying to break down the tape, trying to get the next show structure. And you guys know what we do here, right? So when a player gets hurt, this sucks. This is going to affect production, but push it off to the side and you march forward, right? That's all you can do. So I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. So maybe you guys will find this information valuable like I did. Cameron Azir, make sure you guys go give him a follow at EZEIR Cameron, Cameron. You will not be disappointed. He has so much good content there, Tim. He's
Green Bay local coverage right there for sure.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. So here was his tweet. Devonte Wyatt has been out since week 13 after fracturing his ankle. He said his timeline could be between 3 to 5 months, depending how the recovery goes on his fractured ankle. Quote, I feel like I got a lot more in the tank. I feel like a double-digit sack year, Pro Bowl, All-Pro. So Devonte Wyatt, obviously, you got the fifth-year option. Thank God he got a little security, Tim, right? He gets $12 million fully guaranteed next year. If they hadn't given him that fifth-year option, he would be going into free agency, right? He would be going into free agency this year and rehabbing an injury and would probably get a minimum contract coming out of it, I would imagine, to kind of a prove it deal. This is why I root for these guys to get paid.
Too.
That sucks.
Yeah, and you got to think that's not lost on Heavy D, right? He's thinking about this all day, every day. Hey, I've got stability. I can rehab. You see the quote, right?
Yep.
He's ready, man. This guy's ready. Now, we can talk about the numbers and everything. We can break it down, and looks can be deceiving sometimes, but I don't think anyone can debate the fact that Devonte Wyatt is a gigantic piece, literally and figuratively, in this defensive line moving forward. And he's a guy you can build around, man. He really is. And I hope the rehab goes well. And I believe him, I believe him. He's a force of nature, man, and still developing player, right? What is he, 27 now?
Yeah, he is 27. Yeah, he was one of those guys. I think he was 24 when we drafted him. And the people that always say he's too old for the Packers to draft, they had to eat that one. It was hilarious too.
Yeah.
But he's one of those players I've been up and down on, Tim. Let's hear what he had to say at the locker. He may just repeat that quote we just played there from Cameron Azir, but or read from Cameron Azir. Let's see what he had to say here.
I just know, me personally, I just know I got a lot more in the tank. I feel like I got a lot more in the tank than what I put out there this year or the past 2 years I had. I know I have a lot more, and I feel like this injury right here really is gonna help me get above just that hump. Like just showing y'all what I have. So
what's left in the tank then?
You got to see. We got to show you. But I feel like double sack year, Pro Bowl, All Pro, all the little personal goals, Super Bowl. All of that. So that's why I feel like I have.
You hear that, Tim? We got.
I love how he said that. Those little personal goals. It doesn't.
Then we got the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. The little personal goals don't mean as much as winning it all. I love that attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, again, boy, you can really spot the turd in the punch bowl, right? That we just got through talking about when you hear the way Devonte Wyatt answered the question and talked, and how we talked about, how others may have. So Tom Silverstein put the tweet out, a little bit more detail on the injury, and I learned a little bit here. Like I said, I hadn't dove into it much during the season. Defensive tackle Devonte Wyatt said he broke his fibula and tore a ligament in his ankle. The ligament is the worst of the injuries, but he said he would definitely be ready for training camp. So that's a great sign there that if he is ready for training camp, that gets me fired up. Because, again, you hear what did we say up here, 3 to 5 months. 5 months to today is May. Yeah, no setbacks. He's going to be good to go, right? Good.
And that's where that rehab is an art form, right? You want to push yourself. You have a goal. You want to be back for camp, but you don't want to push too hard, and then you have a setback, and then it's August, and, you're not out there on the field. So best wishes to Heavy D, man. I think he's going to be he'll be ready for camp. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I just looked over here at the screen. We got the Texans and the Steelers going to be kicking off here at 8:30. That's why we try to go live a little early, or at 8 o'clock, whenever it is, so we could all get off here and watch the game. But Stephen A. Smith out there, and he is bundled up in Pittsburgh, Tim. He looks colder than a well digger's ass out there, man. I'm telling you right now.
It's going to be a great game tonight, man.
Yeah.
What more could you want, right? Aaron Rodgers up against a D'Amico Ryans defense. I mean, good Lord, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's cool to see the fan bases kind of gelling together. You can see that you know, somebody posted that epic meme where it's two gang colors and they're holding both their colors up together, and it said Steelers Packers fans uniting. So love to see it.
I think most of us are Rams fans on the NFC side right now, and Steelers fans on the AFC side, right?
Absolutely. No doubt about that. So again, I liked Wyatt's energy there, and we got a little bit more detail in terms of what's going on with the rehab. I think he's going to be good to go. I think he's going to be motivated too. Yes, he's got a fully guaranteed $12 million this year, but there's nothing after that, guys. He's playing for a contract. He wants to go out there and prove it as soon as possible, right? So this is a guy who's going to be highly motivated. Not that he ever has played unmotivated. And I want to say this too about Devonte Wyatt. I don't feel like he had a good year this year. I don't. However, you cannot ignore the fact that when he was on the field, the defense's numbers were better. That's not a coincidence, right? I mean, it was significantly better. I remember this was before Micah got hurt. When Devonte went down, I remember people talking about, man, this defense, it really took a step back when Devonte went down. Now, when Micah goes down, it's like, okay, now you're without your 3-tech and your best edge defender. Good luck. And that's why you've seen the numbers kind of continue to trickle down. But that's the thing. When we look at these numbers here, they're going to look bad. But I do want to mention and give the benefit of the doubt to Devonte Wyatt that the defense was significantly better when he was on the field, okay? And he was drawing double teams from time to time. He was drawing extra attention and all that. But PFF-wise, here's what we got, Tim. His rookie year, he looked like a stud. 69.9. We always say if you score 60 or higher on PFF, good indicator you're going to be a good football player, right? The next year, he drops to a 59.6. Then Jeff Hafley arrives. He jumps to a 66.4. You're like, all right, here we go. We got Devonte Wyatt back on track. This year, he takes a step back to 52.9. Okay. Now that's PFF. And his worst games this year, according to PFF, were just grade, defensive grade in general. Philly at home, 33.6. New York on the road, New York, 32.9. His best game was Week 1 against Detroit, 78.7. His second best game was on the road in Dallas, a 70.1. Yeah. So you're seeing this year a ceiling of 78.7, but you're seeing a floor of 32.9, right? Now, maybe he's a little banged up as you get later in the year. We'd have to go back and look at the details, and my memory is too bad to kind of do that. But that's how he's looked throughout his career, according to PFF.
PFF, right? From a PFF standpoint, for sure. So
let's cross-check it now. I think we would all agree he's supposed to be a quarterback pass rush specialist, right? I think we'd all agree that. Nobody's looking at Devonte Wyatt like his strength is the run game. He's always been a pass rusher, even back to college. That's kind of been his strength. It wasn't that great, according to NFL Pro, okay? When you look at defensive linemen, all right, his pressure percentage was 7.7%. Now, keep in mind, he's not playing nose with the touch spy like Kenny was last year and like Kobe Wooden did this year, right? He's not that guy lining up in the A-gap most of the time. He's not that guy that's going to line up in there and have to face a double team. What we do with Devonte Wyatt is we put him at the 3 to a 4 tech, so we get a wide 9 edge outside of him, and you can get a one-on-one matchup with a guard in Devonte Wyatt. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean they didn't roll the coverage. It doesn't mean they didn't chip on him. Maybe that has something to do with this as well. But his pressure being at 7.7%, keep in mind, NFL Pro will not let us distinguish between interior defensive linemen and edge rushers. So you've got to count on each team having 4 when you're tallying up this pressure percentage, okay? So with that being said, 4 times 32, let's just for easy math call it 120, okay? If you're in the top 120 in quarterback pressure percentage, you're considered starting caliber according to quarterback pressure percentage. That being said, he came in the 57th spot, all right? Essentially what you're saying is including edge defenders. Now, some of them are listed as stack backers, so it filters out a little bit. I don't want to be too confusing here with the numbers, but NFL Pro like Micah Parsons listed as a linebacker because he moved around so much, right? We all agree he's a pass rushing edge defender predominantly. So with all that being said, though, this kind of says out of 4 positions on each team, he would actually be a starting caliber number 2 pass rusher. That's probably good enough in terms of quarterback pressure percentage to be a starting 3 tech. However, if you take those 2 numbers, Tim, PFF grade and the pressure percentage, I do not feel like Devonte Wyatt is our 3 tech. That's our dog moving forward. That's going to be our 3 tech of the future. It's a tier 1 position of importance. I think you got to keep looking for that guy.
Me
now,
too.
It kind of goes back to the comment earlier where someone had a super chat and they said go after multiple positions. It was Jamal said it, right? Jamal said he thinks it should be O-line and cornerback. I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. Whoever it was, I apologize. They said O-line and cornerback. I personally believe you should focus on O-line and 3 tech.
D-line, yeah.
3 tech as well.
I think we all agree on the positions of need. It's just the order at which you approach them, right?
Right. And here's the thing too. There's going to be prospects as we build our draft board, and I've got a ton of grades, and I'm up over like 500 PFF grades added in. We've got over 800 prospects on the draft board already. It's not going to be sorted by value yet, but you're already seeing the names file in, the colleges, the positions, the PFF grades from 23 and 24. So you guys go check that out. I'll see if I can get Emilio to update the link in the Patreon group over at patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Another perk, supporting the show over there. $3 get you access to everything. You'll have your own copy of the draft board at all times over there.
The exclusive Excelio edition. I love it.
Now, what I was getting at is there's going to be prospects in this draft on our board like a Tyleek Williams where it's, well, he's more of a nose. He's more of a nose. Well, time will tell that, right? He was one of the higher graded defensive tackles amongst rookies this year. He was kind of a hit. Now, going into that, we look at it like, well, he's not really a true 3 tech. That's true. But there's going to be times that you want those bigger body defensive linemen, even at a 3 tech if you're playing a run heavy team. And Tyleek Williams, just to give you guys an example here, trying to talk into the mic and look, give me just a second. With Tyleek, 1, 2, 3, 4, we had him as the 5th best defensive tackle, and he seems to have flashed. You guys know my draft crush was Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. Love that dude. I was like, that's the guy I want, 1st round pick.
I thought we were going to get him. I really did.
Yeah. And then what happened? He gets hurt, right? I want to say he played a little over 100 snaps, but boy, he was the highest graded defensive tackle according to PFF. In terms of our draft board, we actually have Walter Nolan as the 3rd best defensive tackle. You hear that and you go, Clayton, you just said he was your favorite 3 tech. He was your favorite defensive tackle. Why is he 3rd on your board? It's not my opinion on the board. We remove our ego, our opinion of these players. That's not how our board's comprised. It's comprised of the people who put out draft information that we trust the most. Your Greg Cosell's, your Dane Bruglers, your Daniel Jeremiah, former NFL scout, folks like that. This board has nothing to do with our personal opinion. It's everything to do with those professional opinions of people that I trust, not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry that fills out a draft board, right? And then all that information is thrown into the database, and we come up with a grade, low number wins. That's a part of our draft coverage every year. So that being said, I want to focus on 3 tech, Tim. And you know what? If you go draft one and he's a stud, and Devonte Wyatt comes out and plays the best football of his career, and he warrants a new
great
contract,
problem to have, right?
Amen, sir. That's exactly the plan. And it kind of goes back to that original comment where people say, you know, it seems like Goody drafts multiple at the same position. Yeah, take multiple swings, right? You took a swing on Javon Bullard at safety and Evan Williams. They were both hits. Now you got a starting nickelback, and you got a great safety in Evan Williams, right? So,
let's hit on a couple of corners now, and we'll be all good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's just kind of the update there on our boy Devonte Wyatt. So, see, we got one more comment we'll hit, we'll wrap up. Wolfman Madden says 3 techs are a rare human size. Can't have enough of them. Amen, Wolfman.
And they don't grow on trees, right? They're kind of tough to find.
Yeah, and Bill Belichick said this one time, and Michael Lombardi always echoes it. Bill Belichick said, everybody thinks they've got a 3 tech, and very few teams do. I hope Goody doesn't just assume and think we got a 3 tech in Devonte Wyatt, because, again, the numbers do not suggest he's a top 5 3 tech, right? So keep swinging. And like you said, Wolfman, yeah, you can't coach size. You can't do it, right? Some people have got that rare human size that he's talking about, and others just don't, So that's all I got on that. So if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the Devonte Wyatt injury status? We want to hear from you. Maybe you disagree with him. Maybe you think Devonte Wyatt is a slam dunk. He is that dude. You want to extend that contract. The 5th-year option at $12 million would suggest that Brian Gutekunst disagrees with my opinion that I'm not completely sold. I think they probably are sold, and that's a bridge to give them time to get that contract extension. The problem is the ankle and the leg injury to Tim. Now it throws a little wrench into that, right? So that's the way that's going to go. But if you guys are watching this back later, let us know in the comments what you think about Devonte Wyatt. And I do think that's good news with the rehab and the return date that's set. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you never miss out on our live streams. Tim, you got anything else you want to add here, bro, before we wrap up, man?
No, just happy to jump on. Great content earlier today, keeping us up to date. And, shout out to the PTA fam. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and definitely join the Patreon, because that's the quickest way to get the up-to-the-minute info for sure.
And when I do these random live streams, I'm trying to get in the habit of throwing in our general chat. There's multiple chats in there, too. You can kind of chat it up with the community. I try to throw in the general chat, hey, going live in 10 minutes, if I have a random stream, just so you guys get first notice on that as well. Packer Doug says, Belichick had Wilfork, mother of all that is holy. What a unit. And here's what's crazy. Before Wilfork, they had Richard Seymour, remember?
Man.
They had Richard Seymour, and then they drafted Wilfork or signed, however they got a hold of Wilfork. You guys comment exactly how they got him. I can't remember offhand. But I remember you can actually find it. It's on a Football Life, Bill Belichick behind the scenes talking about that whole situation. They ended up trading Richard Seymour, I think, to the Raiders, and they extended Wilfork. So it shows that whole transition of, man, Richard Seymour's still a great player, but Wilfork's going to be a dog, right? So, yeah.
An absolute menace in the middle, for sure, Wilfork.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that is it. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all jumping in and hanging out in the comments. You guys and gals are awesome. Do us a big favor. Spin those laces. Hit that like button before you walk out of here. Let's go root on Aaron Rodgers and these Pittsburgh Steelers. We got 25 minutes till kickoff. Plenty of time to go grab you a cold one and get settled in. I'm going to go build a fire downstairs. We're in the 20s tonight, so we're going to get a little fire rolling. I'll make it halfway through the first quarter. Me and Lincoln will be snuggled up, all asleep on the couch. Man, we'll be out cold.
You got 20s down there in Tennessee?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah,
it might be warmer up here in Green Bay right now.
It's crazy how that works sometimes. But it's funny, though. You guys will stay negative for like 2 weeks, and we get that maybe 1 or 2 days out of the, out of the year. So, but anyway, everybody have a good night, and tweet at us during the game, man. Let us know what you think about the game tonight as well. I thought about doing a live watch party, but my wife's she's going to hurt me really, really bad. And for those of you who are wondering who Lincoln is, I said I'm snuggled up with Lincoln on the couch. I'm not cheating on my wife. That's my German Shepherd. Okay, calm down. All right. That's my German Shepherd. So, again, if you want to support us, the best way to do so, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Everybody have a great night. That's Tim. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go, Pack, go.
There we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.